Realm of the Mad God. What a classic game. I've been playing it for almost 7 years now. Well, I was playing it. I haven't really been playing it as much as I used to in the past year or so. I just kind of lost interest in it, I guess. I mean, I loved it, you know. The community is really cool. The YouTubers are awesome. Going and grinding and getting potions and maxing, and then that sweet, sweet white bag. I mean, hell, I like the white bag just as much as the blue bag. Not the cyan bag. I don't really care about the cyan bag. The blue bag. That's a good looking bag. But there's something new that has graced us. And it's, granted, it's about 2 to 3 years old, I think. I started only playing it a couple weeks ago. But Revenge of the Fallen. And it's kind of been a, a little hot topic lately. And actually kind of been hot topic for the past year at least. But people are starting to create this, I don't know, it's kind of comparable to like PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. It's like, which one's better? You know, they're similar. They kind of do the same thing. You know, they both play kind of the same. There's differences in each one that can compare the two. And honestly, I think everybody should have the right to have their opinion. If you think Realm is better than RotF, you should have that right to have that opinion. And if you want to argue with somebody about it, then argue with them. And I don't think arguments are bad either. And even blindly saying one is better than the other, it's your opinion. But I want to take a better subjective look into both of these games, and I really wanted to give RotF a chance and really look into it and kind of compare that to all of the years of playing Realm, being able to give you a really good look at the way I view it and maybe have something that's a little bit different from the way other people are going to portray both games. So I want to first start off with this video of describing, the things that I love about RotMG before I talk about the things that I love about Revenge of the Fallen. Realm of the Mad God, I've seen it change a lot since 2012 when I first started playing. I remember we used to have Amies, and Calais was big. Oh man, I miss Amies. Now, a lot of people don't, and some people say that Amies should be gone and were never a good part of the game, but I argue the reason why that happened is because I got duped to crap, alright? But now we have pets, and I was never really a big fan of pets. I mean, hey, I think it's cool because it's a grinding aspect of the game, and all these items that you can get as white bags can feed your pet, or you could shell out some money. Well, I think pets kind of saved Realm in general. I don't think we would still really have what it is today without pets and the income it made for the game. That's an entirely different topic to talk about. But Realm just gave a good atmosphere, and the bosses and dungeons, I think, were all really well made, and even the new ones now. I think it's all a very interesting gameplay experience for, the casual gamer and the person that really wants to invest a lot of time into it. I think this game changed the way my childhood was for a very good amount of time. I mean, back in 2013, 2012, making videos about the game and playing it and being with friends, meeting all these cool people. I mean, hell, I actually met Tawar in LA. That was a cool time. And this was back years ago too. It's been so long. It's crazy how time has flown since these days. RotMG in general is just a really good game. It's very solid. And of course, yeah, there's some lag issues sometimes, and it is on Flash Player, which hopefully when they get it ported to Unity will be a much more polished game. And I'm also kind of holding out for Unity, if that makes sense. I told myself that, hey, you know what? Once they push this game to Unity, I think it's gonna be a really cool game to try. Hopefully they don't lose the, I don't know, the atmosphere of the game or the aspect that really makes it enjoyable. Because I guess the look of the game itself is kind of part of the atmosphere. But from what I can see, it looks really good. And in general, I don't think we're going to be disappointed with their port. Realm has, I guess the biggest thing for me is not even just the gameplay. It's the people that I met. And I guess RotF could probably do the same thing, but that's the biggest reason why I played Realm. In fact, yeah, I like the loot. I like grinding. I like getting stuff, but meeting people was the biggest thing. And the community. That's kind of weird to think about when I really put it in perspective. Because without the people, I wouldn't play this game by myself. I don't think really much anybody would. I don't think. If I couldn't show off my items, what's the point? Yeah. I guess I got pretty deep there. But I know I don't have to talk about how good Realm is because most of us already know why it's good. And I think this video should be more focused on RotF more than Realm at this point. But in general, I want you to know Realm was a good game. And I can't ever say I really quit it. I just sometimes get back on just to relive my past in the game or see the new stuff. And I think Deck is doing a good job, and hopefully they pull through with everything they're attempting to do to the game, because this game can definitely live a lot longer, and I don't think this game is ever going to die as long as the creators and the developers keep it going. That's the big thing. RotF is a new, fresh start, for me at least, and it kind of brought me back to, you know, back when I first started playing Realm. But the difference is that I kind of had a little bit more knowledge. I knew how to dodge shots, I knew how to shoot my weapon properly, use all the abilities, but there's a lot of new stuff, new toys to try out in the game, and there's a lot of crazy quality of life changes. And, well, this is going to be a long video, so I guess buckle in and get ready for what I'm about to say about RotF. Just as we saw earlier in the Unity demo for Realm of the Mad God, Revenge of the Fallen is also using a full screen mode, although admittedly Realm of the Mad God's Unity full screen is probably going to be a lot more complex. But in Revenge of the Fallen, you have the ability to go full screen. There's also a lot more things into the game other than just full screen. So for example, you might see that I don't really see anybody on the screen other than myself or the people I've locked. That's because I've disabled other player models. You'll see their shadows on the ground, so that's useful because I can still tell where they are. But the big thing is there's a lot of shots in this game that go through people, especially in the newer dungeons, so it's really hard to see shots coming at you if you have the massive amount of people still on your screen. Because in this game, the realms are 150 people per realm, and whenever you go do events and bosses and dungeons, sometimes it can get quite cluttered with people. It's insane how many people can be in here. It's actually really cool because I really enjoy being in mass groups of players in this game. Feels like you're just going for a massive raid, and hey, some of these dungeons really require a lot of people because it's insane. But then again, there's dungeons that, you know, they scale with as many people are in the lobby, so if you're near an enemy in the map, basically it's not going to be as difficult if it's just by yourself, but if there's a lot more people, the HP scales with it. So let's first talk about the quality of life changes that they've actually implemented into RotF. And I gotta say, it is something that is very nice to see in this game. The biggest thing that I think is really cool, and this might not be much of a deal for most of you guys, but for me, is the potion storage. The potion storage is legit. So how it works is whenever you get maxed in a stat, you actually can still drink the potion. Let's say you get maxed in wisdom, you still drink the potion. This time it doesn't go to your stat, it just goes straight to your potion storage. You can be in the realm, get a potion, and it goes straight to your potion storage. You don't even have to go to the vault. That's pretty cool. So it kind of keeps you in the realm longer, and you kind of, I guess it kind of promotes you to play a little bit longer sessions. It's kind of weird how it works. Now, it is a little bit different because, well, you know, there's no more stacking up your vault with potions and then going past the vault chests and maxing your character. I guess there's something that's cool about that is missing in this game. In this game, you just go up to the potion storage and just click the max button. That's really all it is. Oh, and you can't pull potions out of the potion storage either. You can only use them to max your character. There is a sell button, but it only sells it for like a couple fame, which I guess is useful if you just have so many potions that you don't need anymore, and maybe you just don't want to use them. And this is also a really needed change, especially for this game, more so than RotMG, because the potion drops in this game are insane. You get so many potions in this game. It just drops left and right. You go into lowlands and you get potions from it, and most of them are in the form of potion crates, which just give you a random potion. There's a higher chance for like the lower tiered stats. Like if you get a life potion from a potion crate, it's a little more rare. Typically you're gonna see like attack, dexterity, speed, and all that in these potion crates. There's also item crates as well. I usually give you lower tiered items. And they're pretty cool. I mean, I never really get anything useful from item crates. It's only really useful if you're just leveling up for the first time, or you want to use these items for, I guess, fame farming characters. Mentioning fame, everything in this game is payable with fame. You don't really see anybody ever exchanging stuff with pots anymore. In fact, you really don't see much trading at all in the Nexus. And the reason why is because there's a market in this game, a full-on auction house, which blew my mind when I saw it. I was like, when I first got in this game, like, there's an auction house in this game? This is crazy. And this is something that I think Realm, well, you could argue that it would be cool if Realm had it, but I think there's a reason why Realm doesn't have it. They could easily put it into the game, but maybe there's something about trading and just trading other people and actually getting out there and meeting another player hand to hand. And it is missing from this game, but either way, I think it is needed because of how crazy the items are in this game as well. And you can't just like put a value of an item easily in Realm of the Mad God compared to this game, because this game you literally just have a fame value. And so you're kind of talking, it feels like it's more like actual currency. And I think it actually works out really well this way, using fame as currency. Although something they do need to be really cognizant about is inflation in this game, which can become a problem. They do have a 5% tax on the market, so whenever you sell an item, there's a 5% tax that is taken off of the profit you make, and it's just thrown into nothing. They need to do something about, I think they need to do more, because I don't think that's gonna actually fix their inflation issues. And I'm not saying I'm an economist or anything, but inflation can become an issue, and there actually needs to be some more focus on it, which I know sounds very random, and most people probably don't even think about this issue when it comes to regarding this game's economy. I think if, you know, maybe Kebbles or maybe some of the mods or something maybe hit me up, can make some ideas on doing some inflation management, or at the very least just do something and add some things that can combat the inflation in this game. And then there's also something about stat maxing that is really interesting. So once you get 8-8 in this game, which is going to be very fast, that's one complaint that people have about this game. It's like, yeah, you get 8-8 so quickly. What's the point? It's like end game already, right? No, 8-8 is kind of like the beginning. It's really not the end of this game. 8-8 is a very basic part of a character, and you can have an 8-8 character but still be very left behind compared to other people. The big thing in this game is the skill tree. Now, the skill tree is interesting because it allows you to change what you want on your character. It's all about stats, of course. So the skill tree has specific things that you can select from it. Like maybe you want to focus on being a juggernaut more. Maybe you want to focus on being, you know, have more defense or more attack or dexterity. You kind of choose your path, and you kind of sacrifice other stats for it at first. But then you go, and once you get these skill points from a galaxy, which is a Candyland style dungeon, which means it just never ends and you keep fighting bosses. It is a huge grind, but I heard it's better than what they had previously for this. But the whole thing is that you can actually, you know, get up to 82 skill points and kind of go into your own path on the character. Like maybe you want a crap ton of wisdom, or like a crap ton of attack and dexterity, or a crap ton defense. Like I have a knight build that I've been thinking about doing just for fun of it, to get 200 defense on a knight, which sounds insane, but it's pretty cool. You can do stuff like that in this game. And also another thing on top of skill points, which can go up to 82 skill points. You start with 5, but once you do galaxies a lot, each galaxy boss will typically drop you 1 skill point, and you can get up to 82 skill points. More on this later. Once you get to 82 skill points, you now have an 8-8 character with 82 skill points. You can kind of change the way you want. You also have runes. Runes are really interesting as well. Runes are completely separate from the skill points, and you can actually change your character even more. And runes have pretty crazy drawbacks on some of them, but also some of them have really crazy bonuses to your character. You can even like mix match some of these runes, take off the negatives from one rune or maybe from multiple ones, and you can kind of really focus down and like limit the amount of negative effects that you have on you and get the most out of it, which it adds a whole new complexity to the game that it's really cool. And it takes, I guess, a little bit more thinking. It's more of a thinking man game compared to Realm. Realm, it's like, oh yeah, you can use this item, it's good to use this item for this stat and all that. This game is like you have more of a specific choice to make, and it's a lot more open-ended on what you can do with your characters, which is something I really enjoy about RotF. In fact, it's probably the biggest thing over the next part of this video, which I'm about to talk about. The items in this game are crazy. Some of them are absolutely nuts. And that's one thing that I really like about this game, is that there are an immense number of items. I mean, there's at least like 5 to 8 weapons bare minimum added to each class. And not to mention all the abilities that they've added to this game. Let me give you an example. Look at this ability. This is a shield. Now, of course, this is the primal tier. So this is the highest tier that you can get. And it's basically the best loot you can get in the game. So this shield, armor breaks the enemy, dazes the enemy, stuns the enemy, and weakens the enemy, all for a pretty long time. And not the fact, you know, it does do a crap ton of damage as well. It has 6 shots with 760 to 900 damage. But I bet you didn't see this. 240 HP cost. Now, of course, you do get 240 HP and a measly 16 defense, but you lose 5 speed, 1 MP, and 1 whiz, even though I have no idea why it makes you lose 1 MP and 1 whiz when it's an HP cost on the shield. But let me tell you, this thing is insane. Now, this also ties into the part where, hey, since it costs HP, you can also go over to your runes, and you can actually select the regeneration of the brute rune that gives you 115% health regeneration, and also maybe using the bulwark of the surgeon rune, which gives you a 250% extra HP and 8% vitality. Or maybe you could say, hey, you know what, actually instead I'll use the blood pact rune that gives me 85% health regeneration, and then all my abilities use 20% of my health. But it doesn't matter because the wall of flesh already uses 240 HP.
Ryan,
and so with this, you're able to have a crazy amount of health regeneration.
This isn't a guide video
that requires
Shut up.
To use it. Almost like
he's still going on.
Spending anything.
He's still.
He's still. Come on, let's just shut this off. Okay, look, the point is you can do crazy stuff in this game, and the items in the rooms all max up, come together in some nice little compact marriage. I don't know how to describe it. It's pretty sick, okay? It's just sick. Let's get on to the next part of the video. Listen, there's plenty of things that I've missed. There's plenty of things that I can talk about still, which is why I'm gonna make more videos about this game later. But I can't be sitting here talking about how good this game is for another 30 minutes. So how about we talk about the bad parts, the really shitty parts about this game? Well, honestly, there's plenty of things that can be critiqued, plenty of things that can be fixed, plenty of things that can be made better, but let's just talk about it, because hopefully these things will kind of let you aware of some of the things that this game kind of lacks behind on. Look, I'm not saying that this is just a RotF exclusive problem, but yeah, the servers aren't the best, but to be honest, they are better than, well, most of the other private servers I had tried in the past. So I can't really fault them too hard here, but you know what, it is a private server, it's not production, and sometimes there's server outages or some really weird server issues. Sometimes the game just randomly closes when it wants to, kind of like RotMG, but this way it's not as easy to tell when it happens. Like in RotMG, yeah, you should restart your game every once in a while to make sure your memory doesn't stack up. But in this game, like, it can happen at any point. You can just be in a dungeon and it just randomly goes out even though you just restarted your client. It happens, but you know what, it's just part of the game, and it's part of a negative part, so I had to mention it. Also, the developers in this game, I mean, I think they did a good job with the server, but, well, take a look at this. Apparently there was a time a few weeks ago, or last month at least, that a cube god was literally just one-shotting people, because apparently one of the damage numbers were off by a 0 or something. I don't know. I mean, it's something you have to watch out for. I mean, these aren't like professional game developers by any means, although they're definitely, I think, good at what they're doing to a certain degree. This does concern me, so I would warn people to, you know, be careful. And they're not really up on refunding or giving you anything back, which fair enough. I mean, it's probably difficult to go through that kind of stuff, but still, you gotta watch out in this game. In conclusion, the point is there's plenty of things that can go wrong in a game like this, being on a private server, but I think for what they have, they're doing a pretty solid job at it. And overall, I think you guys will enjoy this game as well. If you have been playing Realm for a really long time and you want to give this game a shot, I would suggest doing it. It is a very different game feel to it, different game style. You kind of get in, you start getting potted up, and it's kind of like a very different, very vast shift from what you're used to in Realm. But I really enjoy it, and I can't fault it. I mean, it's constantly hitting my dopamine transmitters in my brain every time I see a white bag or blue bags pop up like 24/7. Granted, there's plenty of crappy white bags in this game. Oh my god, there's so many white bags that are not worth it. I guess that's one gripe that I might have. It's that you can get a white bag and the item's worth like 50 fame, and you're like, okay, this is cool, I guess. But overall, it is a really fun experience, and I have been very much playing this game. And hell, if this video doesn't prove it to you, the fact that I've come back, made a video, spent time on it, and giving it to you guys doesn't tell you enough how much I'm enjoying this game, and I don't know what will. But I guess if you guys want to see me playing the game, hit me up in the game, Mr. EDKI. Somebody took EDKI. I don't know who did. I mean, I'm not surprised. Somebody also took EDKL, and I tried talking to this guy, but I'm pretty sure he thinks I'm a fake. But either way, it's a fun game, and I would really love to play with you guys and see if we can get some cool loot together. Maybe I want to join a good guild. I'm looking for a guild. If you guys need somebody in your guild that's, well, that's cool and is fun to play with, hit me up. And I guess that's pretty much it for now. And like I said, there's plenty of things that I did not mention in this video, like plenty of things. Mainly the dungeons are the biggest aspect that I haven't mentioned, and there's a few cons that I might have left out. I'm just ready to get this video out. I want to start playing this game and showing this video and showing this game to you guys. I actually already have one video already made. I'm going to be releasing that shortly after this video. It's more of a technical, talking about skill trees and stuff, something that you technical people really enjoy. But hey, hope you all have a good rest of your day. Good night. And I will see you guys in the next video.